There's a type of vehicle in Star Citizen which is very unique and has the potential to really be a special, fast, visceral experience that just you can't get with a lot of other vehicles. And so the Gravlev experience is going to really go a step up with this. The current state of Gravlev is a little rough. We have such a wide variety of planets that the existing Gravlev just doesn't cope particularly well in a lot of the common situations you might find on planets. And so we have it getting stuck on geometry and being flung into space and glitching into things and having all sorts of hilarious physics bugs that may be funny, but they don't really make the experience very fun or enjoyable. So this quarter we finally got time to really dive into Gravlev and really figure out what it's going to take to make it what we really want it to be. One of the first things we focused on with Gravlev is this new specialized suspension system, which is a little bit like a car, but it's doubly disconnected from the bike to make it really feel like it's hovering. The largest benefit we've gotten from this new suspension system is we can orient and move the bike somewhat independently of the suspension in ways that we were never able to do before with the old Gravlev. The next step is to use this new suspension system to implement a whole host of improvements to the stability of the bikes. So they're not going to bottom out, they're not going to bump into the ground, they're not going to crash off rocks and lose control, they're not going to go flying off into space, which really makes the whole experience much smoother, much less glitchy, much more reliable. So once we've got this super stable suspension implemented, we can implement some improvements to the actual control of the bike. So the turn friction for making maneuvers is improved, and we can also implement things like better height control, and that will have differences in the handling of the bike that you can feel a lot more than you used to be able to. And they've implemented is a thing called anti-fall, which effectively kicks in to arrest the bike's fall when you fall from a great height. So if you do big jumps off dunes on Daymar, the bike doesn't crash into the ground now. When you get back to the ground, it much more aggressively stops itself and prevents itself from crashing. Last but certainly not least, we have this amazing feature where if you power off the bike or you get off the bike, the suspension will intelligently sort of relax the bike down. And similarly, when you get on the bike, it will softly ramp in the suspension so that the bike will sort of softly lift up and you're ready to go on your adventure. I'm hoping that the combination of all of these new features and improvements really make this a lot better, and it's been a personal hope of mine for quite some time that I've been able to do this rework, because Gravlev just has such potential for such amazing moments. And I know when it's used, for example, in the Daymar Rally, it's just such a cool sci-fi vehicle, and it's been my wish for quite some time that we can make that experience, as good as it can get.
These new Gravlev improvements coming online in Alpha 3.16 aim to finally fulfill the unique promise inherent in vehicles like the Dragonfly, the Nox, the X1, and the upcoming coming up next, let's look at the return of the Jumptown Wars, also coming in Alpha 3.16.
When Jumptown 2 activates, there are now 3 drug labs where this event can happen: Jumptown, Raven's Roost, and Paradise Cove, to create a much more engaging, persistent universe. What is Jumptown 2.0? It's the event that we're putting out that is the officialization of a community event that happened a few years ago, where due to a bug, a location became immensely profitable that was also very conducive to player versus player combat. We are now taking that concept and turning it into a much more developed mission that we are officially supporting. When Jumptown 2 activates, a mission will be distributed out to players. This mission comes in two varieties. One is the criminal side and one is the lawful side. If you are actively having a crime stat, you will see a notification popping up letting you know that Rudo has contacted you, and he wants to sell you some information on a really lucrative drug opportunity. The big thing here is that when you go and collect these for Rudo, you will take those drugs and sell them at Grimhex. For the legal side of things, when you are confiscating that contraband, you are going to be taking them back to the lower Earth orbit station for that security company and selling it to their admin office. We have actually put in some new tech that makes it so that while you are contracted for that security company, any police that pull you over will see that you have this contraband, but also that you have a temporary license for carrying it because you have been deputized. And so they will tell you to just go on your way.
Attention. Please come to an immediate halt and hold for your vessel to be scanned. All right. Everything checks out. Feel free to go.
Another is that we added the ability for the shops where you can sell these things to be modified during it so that you won't be running out of inventory anytime soon during a fire sale like this. The general flow of the mission is as follows. You will see a notification popping up informing you that you have a mission available. When you accept that mission, you will receive two markers. One marker will be pointing you to a location where you can sell the drugs. The other marker will be pointing you to a drug lab where those drugs are being automatically produced every X amount of seconds. It's worth noting that you don't need to have a mission in order to interface with this event. It's just that these markers are the benefit of accepting the mission. During that time, everyone else on the server is also aware of this high-value location, and it is very likely that they will be landing and contesting you doing so. Since the original Jumptown, there have of course been a bunch of changes to the Persistent Universe sandbox. We have tanks, we have ballistas, we have ground vehicles galore. We also have a whole bunch more dropships and varieties of ways to assault these drug labs. And as a result of that, we wanted to do a bit of an update to the gameplay spaces that they provided. Jumptown 2 is set to release with 3.16.0. We're going to be running it on a schedule during winter break. We're really looking forward to seeing you all get to kill each other and steal a whole bunch of drugs during this, and we hope that you have a great time with this little callback to a great moment in Star Citizen history.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that there's a new and exciting second life for our Gravlev vehicles on the way. That Jumptown will be joined by Raven's Roost and Paradise Cove for lucrative business opportunities and exciting new PvP encounters alike. And that if you want to learn more about the upcoming, you should follow along with this year's exciting Luminalia festivities. Yes, it's an exciting time for celebration and giving thanks, and we're going to do both with our community beginning today. Check out the RobertSpaceIndustries.com website for more details. I'm Jared Huckaby. This is Inside Star Citizen. I said that backwards. We'll see you all next week.